Welcome back to Wrestling Renaissance. My name is TJ Leo.
And my name is Cole 2K.
And this is the AEW Revolution 2025 predictions episode. For those of you just joining us, I haven't done this spiel in a while, so why not do the spiel? Before every WWE, PLE, and AEW pay-per-view, we talk about the build-up to the shows, make our official predictions, and on subsequent shows, we break down the results, see how we fared in our predictions, and rate each match on the Co-op Entertainment review scale of 1 to 10. And it's been a while since we have done an AEW prediction show.
Yeah, Happy New Year for AEW.
Yeah.
This is the first time that we've talked about them this year.
Yeah, I think October was the last one? Or November. Was it Full Gear?
I think it was October, yeah. Full Gear.
Full Gear, yeah. That's... Was it November? Yeah. Full Gear or Wrestle Dynasty? Something like that.
Full Gear.
Full Gear. Yeah, it's been a long time. We skipped World's End because it was 2 days after Christmas. Good job, AEW. Great booking. And then they haven't had one since. This is their first pay-per-view. They tried to have one, apparently. With Grand Slam Australia, which never ended up happening, really. I mean, it did, but it was a collision. So this is really the first pay-per-view of 2025.
And then 4 weeks from now, they have another
one. Which one's that?
I think that's...
I should know this because it's a Dynasty.
Dynasty, yeah.
Yeah. And then a month after that, they have... Or 4 weeks after that, they have Double or Nothing. So... I got a lot going on in the next little bit. We'll see if it's any good. Before we get into the card for Revolution, somewhat breaking news as of this recording is that AEW is now going to be, or their pay-per-views are now going to be able to be purchased on Prime Video.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Very interesting. It seems, I think... Prime Video is pretty much international.
Yeah.
Through Amazon, right? No matter what country.
Maybe they looked at WWE going to Netflix and they were like, maybe we could get our own little deal with someone. That being said, though, it is still pay-per-view. So you don't just get it just for having Prime Video. You still have to purchase rights to watch it, like a pay-per-view classic. So.
Since the last time we talked, January 1st, they put all of 2019 AEW and all the current AEW on Max. But now, as of March 1st, this week, they have all of AEW TV.
That's cool.
History on Max now. So I was able to see myself on TV from when I went.
I'm trying to think. Is HBO Max available in Canada? I don't know. Is it? No. We cannot watch AEW pay-per-views up here.
You cannot.
Until now. Apparently. Can watch them on can watch them on Prime Video now. Well, as of this weekend. I don't know if they're going to be doing the back catalog for Prime Video or not. I assume not. But who knows?
I would guess not, because that's already on Max.
Max, yeah, they already have a deal with that stuff. So, yeah.
And I wonder how long it's going to be before the new pay-per-views are on Max.
Yeah, you would think that they would want to do that to get more exposure for their pay-per-views, and but maybe they make a lot of money off the pay-per-view buys, and they don't really want to sacrifice that. Because I always thought about that when WWE went to Netflix for. Well, I guess they do Peacock in the States too. So like they haven't done pay-per-view in years.
WrestleMania 30 was the very first one.
30. Wow, really?
30, yep.
That's when Peacock... no, that was WWE Network at the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then eventually they switched to Peacock, and now they're still on Peacock for the States and Netflix for international.
I know that because my sister got married that weekend.
Ah, so easy to remember.
I don't remember if it was a Saturday or Sunday, so I had to get home to watch WrestleMania 30 on WWE Network, brand new WWE Network.
And we're going to talk about WrestleMania 30 and all of the other WrestleManias on a future episode of Ranked. Cannot wait to do that. But let's get into the main event here, which is the AEW Revolution predictions. We've got 9 matches. We're going with our classic point system, our confidence point system. So yeah, let's dive right in, starting with the AEW Continental Championship. Okada, the current reigning champion, goes up against Brody King of the House of Black, which is not the House of Black anymore.
It is not the House of Black. It is the Hounds of Hell.
The Hounds of Hell. I'm assuming because Black is gone.
Yes, that was, they explained that
name change.
A promo. I guess before it was officially. Well, I mean, they never officially announced that Black is gone, but
yeah,
it pretty much said in the promo that they were led by someone who was selfish and out for his own time, and now they don't have a leader. They all stand together.
So who is they all? Because I thought it was just Brody King and Buddy Matthews.
Brody King,
left.
Buddy Matthews, and Julia Hart.
Oh, Julia. That's right.
Julia's return. Julia Gulia.
No. She does her name correctly. Gulia does not. All right. Yeah. So I don't think there's much of a story to this match.
Well, this match, going into Collision in Grand Slam in Australia, Buddy Matthews had challenged Okada. Buddy's from Australia, so they put him on the card. Okada beat him. And Julia had a match a few weeks ago. Brody King came out to see to her, take care of her, or help her up. And Okada attacked Brody King. So he's just kind of gone through the Hounds of Hell. He's just kind of gone through that faction. So they've had a series of fights, altercations, what have you. So Tony Khan just made the match this week.
So Brody King's next up on the chopping block, as it is. Yeah.
If that's your prediction, sure.
Well, I haven't doubled down on that yet. We'll see. We'll see what my prediction is. Clearly, there's no story here. This is pretty much like AEW 101. Like half their card usually has like the bare minimum of a reason to be on the card, and this is definitely one of them. This one just got added last minute, basically.
Yeah, and it's not that it's disappointing or it's certainly not surprising. It's just kind of not needed. Another match is just kind of not needed. I think they had a really good number for a 4-hour pay-per-view, which is kind of what they've been running with 8.
Yeah. And they had 7 before another match that was added on this one. So,
yeah.
Well, not including the pre-show match, whatever they call that, 0 hour, or whatever they call that. Well, who do you have winning the Continental Championship, sir?
Well, I think this is just a speed bump, a very low speed bump on the way to All In later this summer. I've got, let's see. I'm actually more confident in my head than what the number shows, but I'm going with Okada for 3.
He got the whiteboard out.
I got the whiteboard.
I should have done that. Oh well.
Every time I use the whiteboard, I win.
Oh, is that the? Yes.
That's a superstition. Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's true. Every time you use the whiteboard. Yeah. Well, let's see if it works for you this time. Okada for 3. Okada for 3. All right.
For 3.
So, as history tells us, I tend to win basically all of the WWE prediction shows, and thus far you have won all of the AEW prediction shows, I believe. I could be wrong on that. We'd have to go back in the history books and double check, but I'm pretty sure.
I think you might have won one the first time you defended.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it was 2 WWE
I should keep
wins in a
records
row.
of this stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I should keep records of this stuff. I'm
I
not
have
great at
records
this.
somewhere. I don't
Oh yeah, you didn't throw
think.
them out.
No, I haven't thought about it.
Oh, that's just amazing. Keeping the records for the show. That's a smart idea. Um. Anyway, though, I considering that I tend to lose the AEW prediction shows, I'm gonna be probably going out on a. Oh, he's running away. Where is he running to?
Find another book.
I can hear. Oh, he needs he needs more paper. He needs more paper.
No, I think this is the one that.
Oh, this is the old record book.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Considering I lose most of the AEW prediction shows, I'm going to be going out on a limb with a lot of my predictions here because I feel like if I don't, I'm not going to win.
Yeah.
For the just full disclaimer, I do not watch AEW. The last time I watched AEW was World's End, but that was like 4 days ago. So that is the most up to date I am on AEW. Is when World's End happened. I have almost no idea what's happened since then. Besides the occasional like something someone mentions to me, through conversation. So I'm going with Brody King on this one. The last time I saw Brody King, I was super impressed with Brody King. And I always kind of looked at him as like the least interesting member of the House of Black back in the day. But he super impressed me in his last match. I can't remember who it was against, honestly. But I just remember coming away from it going like, oh man.
Darby Allin. I think it was.
Was it Darby? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I came away from that going, holy crap, Brody looked like money in this match. So my hope is that after Okada has kept his title for as long as he has, that Brody King will come up with a surprise win here and take it. So I'm going with Brody King, and I have him for 5 points.
Oh, okay. And FYI, you actually won the last AEW show.
Full Gear?
You won Full Gear, yep.
Damn.
19-18.
Oh, close one.
No. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I did. 27-24. I got another column right here.
Oh,
27-24.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay.
Then you won Survivor Series.
Oh, speaking of that, let me bring him out. That's my predictions championship right there. I gotta break it out to defend it. All right. All right. So you have Okada for 3. I got Brody King for 5. So right off the hop, we've got huge differences in our scoring potential there. All right. Let's move on.
I don't think this is going to be like a Elimination Chamber where we have same picks even for prop bets.
No. I will be surprised if we have anything like exactly the same. I would be very surprised. But then again, I said that for Elimination Chamber, and we had like 87% exactly the same.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, the next match is the number 1 contenders match. Swerve Strickland versus Ricochet. In their, I guess, is it a rubber match? I know they've had one.
They've had one.
They've had one. Okay, so this is their second.
Yeah, one.
Okay. So obviously their rivalry continues, and the winner of this match goes on to face the winner of Moxley and Cope, which we'll get to later.
I don't know if it's specifically for the next pay-per-view, the title match.
They haven't really said.
I think it's just a future title match.
Yeah. Well, it's number 1 contender, so it should be. He's next up. So, I mean, with the next pay-per-view only being 4 weeks away, makes sense to me that would be when they would put it on. Right. But yeah. Not much to say about this. I like Ricochet's new character. I'm always a big fan of Swerve Strickland. I think they've shat all over Swerve Strickland since he lost the title. But I do think that Swerve's going to win this one. I just don't see Ricochet versus Cope or Ricochet versus Moxley as a title match that anyone cares to see. So I've got Swerve.
I don't see Moxley versus Cope as one that people really care to see either, but here we
go. Shots fired. It's true, though. It's true.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later. That's for sure.
Yeah. The whole story going into this one is about the robe, the embassy robe that Ricochet stole from Swerve and Nana.
People like picking on Swerve and destroying his things and stealing his things.
Yeah. I guess 2024 was the year of the bracelet feud, and 2025 is the year of the robe feud.
Year of the robe.
Year of the robe.
I'm sure people will remember that fondly.
So, full transparency, we are recording on Thursday, so Dynamite was last night.
Yes.
They had a contract signing last night.
Okay.
And at the end of that contract signing, Swerve told Ricochet that basically after this weekend, he's going to be remembered for two things. One is something about golden scissors. And then the second one, the second thing that he's going to be remembered is his ring announcer wife.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Low blow.
So, with them bringing her into it by that, I'm thinking that we get some sort of a swerve and she appears.
Interferes with the match and wins it for Ricochet.
Interferes with the match or does something to help Ricochet win.
Ooh.
And maybe even a swerve and a turn from Prince Nana.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I do think we see a Ricochet win. Now he'll get he'll get a title match and lose.
Yeah, definitely.
But of course, I do have a Ricochet win.
Wow. We are very different already. Oh,
I forgot to do it.
I get the win now. I get the win.
Ricochet for one.
Oh, Ricochet for one.
Ricochet for one.
Wow.
Yes, wow. Ricochet for one.
So not super confident. Wow.
No.
Okay. I have Swerve for 9.
Wow. Easy money
wow.
Swerve.
I have Swerve for 9. Oh my god. This might be the most varied card we've ever done. Wow. Well, let's see how this continues. Although you have sort of convinced me that is a significant possibility because she recently kind of started. What's the word? Like, is it renacting her previous statements? Like she was like very. Well, they didn't let me do this, and they didn't let me do that, and that's why I left because I want to do things. And now she's kind of like. Recanting, that's the word I was doing. She's kind of recanting that stuff, and she's like, "Oh, they treated me great, and it was a great opportunity, it was a great time, and I really want to get back into wrestling." So I'm wondering if that was also like a hint that she's coming back, just not to WWE. So you might be right, but I hope I'm right because that'll give me a huge boost.
That is true. Yeah, it would.
Yeah. All right. Cool. But by the way, both of these first two matches should be bangers.
Oh, for sure.
I think they both should be fantastic. What do you think of the toilet paper thing with Ricochet? Having people throw toilet paper at him. What's up with that?
I mean,
I understand it, but
the streamer thing. I don't know if they were wanting to do more with it, but they just did a one thing and it was done. So I guess so. I guess as a way to start the feud. Yeah. And I guess it worked because they went from throwing toilet paper to stabbing him in the face with scissors. So.
With golden scissors.
Golden scissors. Dr. Trevor and the golden scissors.
All right, next match is a grudge match. MJF versus Adam Page. I know nothing about this feud. Can you fill me in? I literally know nothing. Zero.
So, at the very, very beginning of AEW, the original, it wasn't even on the pay-per-view. It was the buy-in at, what was it? Double or Nothing. Was it Double or Nothing? No, I don't know.
Yeah. I think the original AEW pay-per-view.
They had the Battle Royale. The winner of the Battle Royale gets the first title shot of the winner between Kenny Omega and Jericho. Jericho, of
Right.
course, won that.
Jericho won
And
that. Yeah.
Adam Page won the Battle Royal, eliminating MJF.
Mm.
So the whole feud goes back to that.
Which,
MJF
by the
beat.
way, before you continue, is it not crazy that Jericho will go down in history as the first ever AEW champion instead of Omega? Like, in hindsight, that seems like that was a dumb decision
I
to me.
understand why they did it, but yeah, I mean, if you
Bigger
want,
name,
yeah,
but
for a
it's like
U.S. company,
I just would have thought that they would want one of their like homegrown type people,
yeah.
winning that. But yeah. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
And they never really. Well, I think MJF beat Page for the very first Dynamite Diamond
Diamond ring
Ring.
thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then they never really touched after that. The last few months, when Hangman was chasing after somebody, MJF was in the ring, and it just started with stare downs with each other. And then MJF was cutting a promo and started talking about Hangman Page running in to his promos, and then it just got back and forth to a war of words between the two,
Huh.
which for MJF is the best way to build a feud.
Yeah. Talk. Yeah.
And he has gotten back to the kind of promos that I find a little more interesting. They're not quite as repetitive. They get. I mean, I know they kind of did before. I just meant to turn that down. I only turned the volume down, not the notification. He would do the insults, the cheap insults of the fans, and but like it's getting deeper character insults now.
Yeah.
Kind of like what he used to with Cody, and like what he did with
Punk.
Punk.
Yeah.
I didn't really hear exactly what the promo was last night because I was kind of in and out of the room. But this feud has kind of gotten really, really big, and I think we are starting to see this has kind of been the catalyst to have Hangman turn babyface.
Oh, interesting. I'm surprised that this match isn't like some sort of gimmick, some sort of step.
I kind of am too. We've got. I mean, there's. I think really only.
There's only one.
Well, there's two.
It's just the steel cage match. I thought. No.
I think is a women's championship. I know it's titled the Hollywood Ending Match, but
I don't know.
Falls Count Anywhere.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Interesting. So maybe they just didn't want to overload it like they have on a million other pay-per-views before this. Maybe they've learned their lesson not to do that.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll, the rules will be very lenient.
Yeah.
They'll be outside the ring for a while, like it normally is, but.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of like Adam Page as a heel. I don't know if I really want him to be a face again. I think he's great. I mean, he's great either way, in my opinion. He's enjoyable in the ring. He does great hardcore matches. I like both of his music themes, his face theme and his evil theme. I think they're both fantastic. He's just a great package, Interesting that they want to turn him back to face, though.
I think there's a reason for it.
Yeah, setting him up for something. I'm not sure.
Yep.
Not sure what, but it's also not a number one contenders match. It's just a grudge match, so it's not super vital who wins this match. I don't think. Yeah. I've got MJF winning this.
I've got MJF as well.
Okay.
I think MJF needs a win more than Page.
Yeah, if history's taught us anything, it's that Adam Page's wins don't really mean anything. He just wins and doesn't really go anywhere. You know, he's had a bunch of dominant. He had a bunch of dominant wins in 2024, and none of them really like escalated to like a championship or
Yeah.
it was just there. So my instinct on this one is that Adam Page is just sort of filling a role where he's needed, and MJF's probably more on the rise back towards the main event, is my guess. So that's why I have him winning personally.
I didn't show it, but I do have MJF for 2.
For 2, okay.
But I think Heyman needs to lose to kind of get his babyface turn going.
Yeah, that makes sense. I have MJF for 7.
7, okay.
Yeah. All right, let's move forward to the AEW Tag Team Championship. This is the Hurt Syndicate defending against the Outrunners. And to my knowledge, there's not much of a story here.
Story, no. They had been building up the Murder Machines, Lance Archer and Brian Cage. They had made them look really dominant. Feeding them actual AEW talent rather than just local enhancement talent.
Yeah.
But they had a match between the two, the Murder Machines and the Outrunners. Winner gets the title match. And the Murder Machines dominated the whole match pretty much. And the Hurt Syndicate's music started playing. They started walking out, and Outrunners rolled them up for a win. Made them look like total chumps. So the Outrunners get a title shot. Yep. Outrunners are over.
Yes, they are.
That's where the best wrestle. The most sports entertainment gimmicky tag team is pretty much the most over.
And yet, I don't think they're going to win.
I think if they were going to win, they should have won. I think it was Full Gear.
Yeah, I think it was Full Gear too. I think
we both said them in the 3-way or the 4-way.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think they missed their time, just like they did the Acclaim.
Yeah, the lightning struck too late. So yeah, I don't think the Outrunners are. They might make a comeback at some point in their career, but I think the current momentum that they had is on the downward, not on the upward. So it's too late. That being said, though, I also am not a huge fan of Bobby Lashley in a tag team scenario.
I'm not. Yeah, me neither. Not in the tag.
I mean, the dude's just a beast. You know, he was made to look like, Black Lesnar. You know what I mean? Like, he really was. And then his last year in WWE, they barely even used him. It was really weird.
They put him with the Street Profits.
Yeah, the Pride, as it were. Very strange. So yeah, I'm
somewhat decent attempt to put him in another faction.
Yeah, my assumption is that Cedric Alexander is probably on his way to AEW to reunite with the Hurt Syndicate, and that will probably get him and Shelton in the tag team division, and Bobby Lashley will move on to other things. But if that's the case, Cedric's probably got a 90-day no-compete. It'll probably... Yeah, so it'll be a few months before he
tweeted, see you in 90.
Yeah. So it'll be a few months before then, and for the time being, Bobby and Shelton can keep these titles. So,
or perhaps maybe we don't see Samantha, or we do see Samantha and no Nana, and Ricochet can join the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that. How many points did you have? Oh yeah,
Syndicate for 6.
So do I.
Oh, wow.
For 6. Oh no, that's funny. Okay, that is interesting. Okay, all right, let's move forward. TBS Championship. Mercedes Moné defending against Momo Watanabe. I think is how you say her name. Or
Momo
Watanabe.
Wannabe?
Yeah, Momo Watanabe, maybe, or Watanabe. I'm not sure. I don't know anything about this feud either. I just know that Momo is kind of a big babyface in AEW, and Mercedes still a huge,
Well, in the Wrestle Kingdom pay-per-view, the deal they had in every January 4th, the 2-night thing, apparently in one of the nights, there was a 4-way match or something. There was some kind of match where the winner gets to go after a title that she wants of her choosing. Momo won the match, and at Collision, the Grand Slam Collision, she kind of confronted Mercedes and told her she was going to go after the TBS title. So that's kind of how we got there. Funny thing is, in New Japan or Stardom, Momo's a really big heel.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. But here, in this case,
this environment,
she's the babyface because she's going against Mercedes.
Huh. Well, that's a lot of information that I was not aware of. It definitely wouldn't have changed my mind on my prediction, though. I've got Mercedes, unfortunately.
Mercedes 4 belts. I mean, it doesn't really make sense to me, her defending it against a non-AEW talent, but
yeah,
that's what they do.
He's writing it down.
And certainly Mercedes is not going to lose an AEW title to someone who's not from the company.
Especially a title that is tied to one of their networks.
Yeah. I actually think she's not going to lose it for a long time. Maybe not even this year.
Wow.
Yeah, I think they're going to hot take. I think they're going to have her beat Jade's record.
I mean, that would make sense because she, they probably want to not erase Jade from the books, but considering she's moved on to the competition, it's like they don't want her holding records. That makes sense. Yeah. That being said, though, I think Mercedes is probably going to end up back in WWE at some point too. So I don't know if I would give it to Mercedes or not.
No, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised either, but it just if you look at the history of wrestling, the chances of somebody not coming back who had a falling out with the company is zero.
If she wants to come back in a couple of years, she can expect to not be as high on the card because
no doubt,
talent's passing her by left and right.
100%. Although she did have a great match at World's End.
Yep.
Don't remember who it was against. Chris Statlander.
I was against Statlander again. Yep. They had a really good match.
Great match. Yeah, I love Statlander. She deserves to have a title. I don't know why she's not. Okay, so I have Mercedes for 4.
9.
9.
No way Mercedes is losing.
Wow.
There's no way Mercedes is going to lose the title.
Damn, son. Some big bets going on this time. Crazy. Yeah, no, zero chance of a tie or or of anything. Someone's winning. All right, next up, steel cage match: Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher, the rubber match. If I'm correct, I think they've both faced each other. They faced each other twice. I think they both have each one win. I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is their tiebreaker. So Will Ospreay Fletcher won. If you recall, it was the match that I pissed all over. That was the match where there was 80 kickouts of insane finishers.
That was on Collision. That was on a Collision.
Are you sure? I think it was. I watched it, though.
It was either Dynamite or Collision.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Full Gear. Was it not Full Gear?
Then they've faced each other 3 times already.
Oh, shit. 2024. Let's see, what was the matches at Full Gear? Yeah, yeah, they faced up Full Gear, World's End, and Collision, I guess. So this is not the rubber match. This is the how did the Collision match end?
Oh, that was
Because Kyle beat Osprey at Full Gear.
Fletcher. No, Osprey won.
At Collision.
Yeah.
Okay, so Osprey's got 2, and and Fletcher's got 1.
And that was a tag. Fletcher and Osprey versus, yeah.
So it's 2-1 for Osprey.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me that they've had this many matches because they seem to click in the ring.
Yep.
But yeah, Full Gear's match between them, I hated it. It was one of those matches that didn't deserve 80 kickouts of 16 different finishers. Like there was a tombstone on the steel steps in that match. There was like just everything under the sun, and I was like, okay, guys, you guys are acting like you're in the main event, and you're not. You know, like this was not earned. But then they had their match at Collision that was really good. Their match at World's End was fantastic. I thought they vastly improved over the Full Gear match. Much more realistic and told a better story than that terrible first Full Gear match, which I'm sure that Meltzer gave a 5 or an 8 stars.
6 at least, probably.
At least, yeah. Interesting that this is a steel cage match. I don't think I've personally ever seen a steel cage match in AEW. Actually, no, that's not correct. Swerve and Adam Page. That was
unsanctioned. So does that actually count?
No. Does that mean that the bets didn't count for that one? The predictions.
I don't know who won.
That's fair.
Actually, I was actually at the first one they did. Cody versus Wardlow.
Oh, interesting. Yes, I think I remember that one. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's the only cage match I've seen with them. Looking forward to this one. I fully anticipate we'll get a crazy Will Ospreay dive from the top of the cage, or like a Hurricane Rana or something crazy off the top.
Oh yeah.
Should be a great match. Normally, I don't really give a shit about steel cage matches. I find them a little bit restrictive, which I know is the point. But if you don't have somebody in there who's a high flyer, then it's normally kind of. Eh. But these two will put on a show. I am certain of it. Who do you have winning this one?
Let's hope neither one of them tries to jump off, do a splash to a table, and shatter their leg like Adam Copeland.
Yeah. Well,
like Copeland did.
I would trust Will Ospreay with doing something like that. Kyle Fletcher, I don't know, maybe. I never trusted Edge doing something that crazy. Like, you're not a high flyer, dude. Why did you do that? That was really dumb.
Although he did do the spear off the top of the ladder.
Yeah, I know.
Jeff Hardy.
I mean, that was also when he was
20-some years ago.
Yeah. Who do you have winning?
I've got Ospreay for 7.
Wow, we are once again in disagreement. I've got Fletcher, but only for 2.
Ooh.
So you could make a huge comeback there if I take over on some of those other ones. Yeah, I just think.
Oh no! Oops, you don't have Ospreay. You have Fletcher.
Yes, I have Fletcher for 2. I just think that they're building Fletcher really well, and I think losing to Will Ospreay 3 times would be a detriment. So I'd rather see these two guys go out with a tie, 2 wins apiece. Also, Ospreay losing will not hurt him in any way, but Fletcher losing could hurt him significantly. So that's why I'm going with Kyle. Although logical booking doesn't seem to have any effect on AEW's decision making. So
I did think about that too when I made my picks. But looking back, pay-per-view, Ospreay's lost a fair amount.
He has. Yeah. But I don't
So,
think he needs to win in order to be still over, though. You know what I'm saying?
oh no, of course not. But
Kyle Fletcher, I think, does need a win to stay over. But I'm not super confident in it. That's why I gave it a 2. Because I can see Ospreay taking it. All right, next matchup is the AEW International Championship. Let's see if I can get his name correctly. Konosuke Takeshita.
yes,
Defending against Kenny Omega, the returning Kenny Omega, who I believe before he went on his sort of medical hiatus was in a feud with Takeshita, I think.
Takeshita beat him at All In 2023 in Wembley, and then beat him again 1 week later at All Out.
Man, Omega's been gone for a long time.
He was gone for a long time.
He had
Diverticulitis.
Yeah, I was trying to remember the name of that. The same thing Lesnar had, and it was
same thing Lesnar had.
Real bad thing to have. So it's good to see that he recovered and he's back because he's a great wrestler. I'm not as high on Omega personally as a lot of people were when he was sort of on fire. I think he's great in the ring. Don't get me wrong. I think he's very Ospreay-like in the ring. But I also think his best days are probably behind him, honestly, at this point.
They are. I mean, they certainly are. I don't think they're as far behind him as they are for Okada.
No, I agree. I agree with that.
But I think, I mean, if he were to switch companies today, he could main event in WWE against anybody, no problem. I think he's still that good.
Yeah, he's still a great storyteller.
Yeah.
I don't think he's great on the mic. Maybe a hot take. I don't know. I don't like him on the mic. I think he's kind of vanilla.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. That being said, though, I do not see a world where Omega loses this match.
It's his first pay-per-view match back.
Yeah. Takeshita's held that title for a while. You know, there's no reason for him to. No, but he has defended it. You know,
he has defended it,
and he's had some great matches, man.
Yep.
As we saw in our 2024 Wrestling Awards, Takeshita versus Ospreay won Match of the Year.
Yep.
So,
he had a great match with Josh Alexander at
Kazuchika. I got it.
You know, he had a great match against Josh Alexander at Maple Leaf Pro at that pay-per-view late in the year.
Yeah. What happened to that company? Are they still doing things? Because
they're doing another show, I think, this weekend or next weekend.
Maple Leaf
I saw that
Pro
Harley Cameron was booked for it, but she got pulled.
March 14th and 15th.
Next weekend, yeah.
Oh, and the yeah, and then May 11th. So they're not even like a TV company. They're just like a put on them stuff.
Yeah. When
it every so often. They're like a pay-per-view only company, basically. It's very interesting. We'll have to have a show about them at some point. But yeah, I have Omega for 8.
I think this is the start. This will be the beginning point of not necessarily the build, but we'll see the seeds of Okada versus Omega.
Yeah.
To unify the two titles at All In.
Damn.
Yeah. So in order to do that, Omega has to win this weekend. So I've got.
So does Okada.
So have Omega winning. This weekend, and Okada winning this weekend too.
Why do you think they're going to merge the Continental Championship? Just because it's a redundant title, like we have talked about before?
Yeah, just kind of a redundant title.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind that.
You know, and then I think the Continental Classic, they'll still have that every year.
Yeah, just make it a tournament.
That'll be a tournament for number one, for a guaranteed.
Kind of a King of the Ring type of thing.
Match. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yep.
Who do you got? You got Omega?
I have Omega.
For 8 as well.
8 as well.
I did not anticipate us tying on anything. So the International Championship and the AEW Tag Team Championship are both washes for our predictions.
They are. And you've got.
I think we've disagreed on all the rest of them point-wise.
You've got those two numbers left, and I've got those two numbers. Yeah, our numbers aren't going to match for the next two.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yep.
Well, let's get to them. AEW Women's World Championship. Toni Storm defends against Mariah May in I guess, a rematch again. I guess this would be the rubber match, right? Because Mariah beat Toni,
yep. Mariah
and then Toni beat Mariah.
All-In, and then Toni beat Mariah at Collision.
Right. I want to say that this is like the biggest story going still, but it kind of lost a lot of its momentum when Toni came back as like the punk, the old school punk rock chick, and Mariah May was
the whole swerve, brother. That was an act. She was playing.
Oh, I know. Role. Yeah, I heard about all that, and I was like, oh, okay, so, all right, sure, I guess that was the thing that happened. Yeah, I think that really lessened the momentum of this feud, because initially this feud was like maybe the hottest thing going in AEW. And I don't think it is now, but yeah, I think they derailed it, which is a pretty common AEW thing, is to derail things that are going really well for them. I think the only feud they've ever done where I'm like, no, that one didn't either. Never mind. No, they've ruined almost every feud they've
feud
they've had. Yeah, they ruined that because of the needle thing and because of the way that both of them ended up after that match. Like Swerve just got shit on for the next 6 months.
The feud, or that didn't necessarily ruin the feud. It just they did nothing with it afterwards.
They just did nothing. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they don't carry on. It's like everything is compartmentalized. All their feuds are like in a box, separate from everything else.
Yeah,
it's very strange. That being said, I've got Toni retaining her title for 3 points.
You got Toni for 3?
I got Toni for 3. I could see it going both ways, but I think that Toni... I'm hoping that they've recognized that Toni is a star, and they gotta protect her. Nothing wrong with Mariah May. I she's great, but I think Toni Storm's just a star, in my opinion.
Oh, Mariah's gonna be great in WWE when her contract turns out.
Is that what you think is happening?
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right.
She's got. I mean, how young? 26, 27.
She's not old. That's definitely true. You don't see Toni going back to WWE?
No, I don't think so.
She's just now an AEW staple.
I think so. 26. Mariah's 26.
Yeah, she's got a long career ahead of her.
Yep.
If she wants it.
Yep. Toni's
probably 30,
she's
31. Yeah, okay.
I mean, she may go back.
As long as she can take her gimmick with her.
Yeah, I mean, I think she really likes it there in AEW. We'll see if she still likes it when she's not front and center as the spotlight. Seems like when they cycle them out, the ones after they cycle them out of the spotlight, they kind of get unhappy a little bit.
Britt Baker.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got to get that cough looked at.
Yeah. But I think for the gimmick to continue, she needs to win. So I've got Toni for 5.
All right. Capitalizing on my 3-pointer there. And we have I wouldn't call that a wash. I would call that you gain an advantage on that one. All right. That leads us to the main event, which is the AEW World Championship. Moxley defends his title that we haven't seen in, 6 months?
Since October.
So yeah, October,
And
November,
funny thing
December,
is,
January,
neither one of
February,
these
March.
competitors cares about the title. They've said so, pretty much.
Moxley versus Cope, and they both just want to kill each other, basically. Yeah. So I watched, like I said, I watched World's End for the first time earlier this week, which was the first AEW thing I've watched since Full Gear. So, a long time. And that show was great. It was great. Lots of highlights, lots of great matches.
Except for
the main event, which was an absolute
right?
the four-way, and it was a dud. It was a complete dud. The crowd didn't give a shit. And that was basically the same thing as what happened at Full Gear, if I recall correctly. That was the weird freaking ending with like not Cesaro, what's his name now? Claudio. He did like Grand Theft Auto outside, and then like Darby tried to like run a car into him or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like that was that huge confused ending with Jay White involved and Adam Page and Christian. There was like eight or nine friggin' wrestlers involved in this friggin' main event, and everyone was like, "What is happening? I don't understand. I don't care. Why do I care about any of this?" And then the same thing happened with the Fatal Four. It was like, oh, okay. I mean, I don't think anyone expected Moxley not to win that Fatal Four-way, but it didn't even come across as interesting or entertaining. It was just like, why? This is boring. And now we have the AEW World Championship, this pay-per-view, with two former WWE guys, and neither of them give a shit about the title.
Yeah.
Think about this. Think about this for a second. Can you ever see WWE having a storyline where they keep their title in a box for half the year?
No.
No, you want your friggin' beast out there representing your company, bringing it to all the shows, bringing it to the talk shows and
with the champion
radio
saying
shows, and
the fans don't deserve to see the title.
Yeah.
The other wrestlers don't deserve to see the title. I'm the title. I'm the championship.
And now you're at the point where neither combatant cares about it.
Yeah, and then
let alone the people.
When he smashes the briefcase that supposedly holds the title, says, "This is what I think of the title." Then he smashes the briefcase with the title in it. So it's like, if you don't care about the title, and you don't care about the title, why should I care about the title? Why should I care about the match?
Exactly. It is quite possibly the worst main event storytelling. I mean, definitely the worst main event storytelling in AEW history. That's for sure.
It's the worst one I can think of.
Yeah.
It's just dragged.
It's brutal.
So long.
It could have been good. There's elements of the Death Rider story that I like. There's elements of the idea behind it being cool, but it just comes off as like, I don't even know. It just comes off as like baffling more than anything else. You know? Are they still trying to kill people? Have they done attempted murder recently?
I don't think so.
Okay. So they dropped that finally?
I think they might have.
Jesus. Well, it wouldn't surprise me with these two crazy mother Canuckers doing some sort of murder angle again.
Yeah.
Or attempted murder angle again.
I mean, I think the only death that they're writing is the ratings, the TV ratings.
Yeah, the best matches on the card. The best match on the card should be the main event. And it seems like for the last several pay-per-views, the least interesting match
is the main
event.
Not necessarily the best match, but I think the most important match.
The most important, the most over match should definitely be the main event, which is exactly what WWE's been doing. You know, like they know, like what's gonna make people sit in that seat to the end of the show. I almost fell asleep watching the main event at World's End.
I did.
There you go.
I literally did. Yeah.
That's a bad state of affairs when your main event is sleep worthy. It's not good. Yeah, I'm kind of baffled at the writing and the creative and just the whole thing. It's just crazy to me. That being said, though, if these two get into a crazy match where the ref gets taken out and then all of a sudden it becomes basically a no DQ match because there's no ref for a while, these two could do some crazy shit. My gut tells me that Moxley's going to retain and they're going to have a rematch at some point in some sort of crazy match. Like a crazy stipulation hardcore match. I know this is again, this is just me going off of like instincts. This is not me going off of like knowledge or like I don't follow AEW, so I don't know. I originally went with Cope on this one, but then I thought, well, if Swerve's winning, I don't see Swerve versus Cope being something that we want to see right now. They're but Swerve versus Moxley in a hardcore match, damn, that could be good. That could be good. You know, I loved Hangman and Swerve. They had a great hardcore match, needles aside. I would love to see a Moxley Swerve hardcore fight. So I've got Moxley on this one.
See, with this whole Death Riders thing, it can't be a WWE guy, a lifelong WWE guy that takes the title.
I agree.
Swerve, I could see it because he's already been AEW champion, and I mean, me personally, I don't really consider him a WWE guy, like we've talked before. But I absolutely don't see Cope being the guy to take the title off of him. I see someone that we saw earlier in the pay-per-view being the guy, and I think I see Hangman, Adam Page being the guy to eventually take it off of him. And that's why they're going to turn him babyface, and they're going to start building that. Now, before this week, I would have put Mox at 100% to win. I don't know, but I give Cope maybe 20% chance to win now.
Interesting.
But I still do have Mox.
Okay. Yeah, I would not be shocked to see a Cope win here. Tony seems to have this, like, predilection to XWW guys, so it wouldn't shock me whatsoever if Cope won. And also, you know, who would you rather have holding up the big title with your logo on it as the company guy? Cope or Moxley?
Yeah.
Not that matters to Tony, but
I mean, to add on your thing about has a predilection for XWE guys, I think maybe for XWE guys that a lot of people thought WWE did dirty. Like Bryan Danielson.
Punk
when he did, and then, you know, because people thought
Lashley now. Mercedes.
So because they supposedly didn't offer him much or what he thought he was worth or whatever. Yeah. You know, they basically let him go because there was nothing else for him to do there.
Which I agree with, by the way. I think,
yeah. I mean, it was time.
Yeah.
That's what Cope said, and that's what WWE said pretty much. Yeah. It was,
you've done everything.
You'll come, I mean, I would say come back and join the Hall of Fame, but he's already in it.
Yeah.
You know, maybe he can go in as Edge and Christian eventually.
Yeah. Makes sense to me. Is Christian in the Hall of Fame?
Christian is not in the Hall of Fame.
What?
Yeah, Christian is not in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. He seems to always be in another company. You know? Like he doesn't stay in WWE long enough to be like, all right, we'll give you the flowers.
Well, because Vince didn't see him as the guy. They saw Adam Cole, Edge as the guy.
Yeah. We'll see if Trips will give him his due at some point. All right. I got Moxley at 1.
I got
I'm
Mox for
not
4. Mox
for
for 4.
4. All right. So vastly different point counts. We only completely agreed on the winner and the points on 2 of the matches. The rest are completely different. So I don't see us tying here at all. I see some craziness. I see some huge risk in this potentially not coming home to daddy.
Let's see, we've got 3 matches that we got different names.
And vastly different points on for the yeah.
And Mox at 0 from Yancey.
Mox at 0. No one wants Mox. No,
0
I
as
like.
in 0 interest or 0 points?
I mean, I like Moxley. I don't have anything against him, but I have everything against the storyline that he's been in.
Yep.
I just think it's been absolutely stupid. And the only thing I was wondering is maybe him bashing. Like, did he do any damage to the briefcase? Cope?
Yes.
I wonder if that
really,
means
really
that there's
bad.
I wonder if there's like a new title coming, a new belt.
Who knows?
It would be. It is probably about time that they revamp that belt. It's
I'm still thinking,
6 years old, but
I'm still thinking there's no way that belt can fit in it.
oh yeah, I agree with that too. That belt's fucking huge.
Yeah.
Compared to that briefcase size. No, I agree. It's so funny.
I tell you what, if and when the Mox or Marina or whoever carries it, when they come out with a bag instead of the briefcase, that's when he's losing.
You'll know.
Because that's when they'll see it.
That's true.
Yeah. Whenever it comes out, not in a briefcase, if it comes out in a bag like they put it in when he won it, that's when he's losing it.
That's funny.
And that'll be the dead giveaway.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so funny. That's so true. They won't think about that.
And if, whenever he loses it, if he opens that briefcase, that size briefcase, and that title is in it, I don't know. I'll eat something.
Then they switched out the size of the briefcase for the show.
Yeah, that's why I said if it's that size briefcase and that title fits in it, I don't know. Yeah. I'll eat anchovies or something on stream on the show or something, because there is no way that fits in that briefcase.
Fair. That's fair. All right, let's lock in those.
No, we're locked in.
They are locked in. They cannot be changed between now and the pay-per-view, which is this Sunday. I believe the 9th? 9th of March?
6.
Yes.
79, yep.
I will not be watching live. Not likely, anyway. I tend to watch AEW post live. But I hope it's a good show. I hope we get some good bangers. I hope I win. But we'll see how it all comes out in the wash.
Maybe I'll just sit and watch the John Cena heel turn on repeat instead.
I was going to say, I do plan on watching the Elimination Chamber again at some point. Just because I did a lot of like jaw hitting floor in that show. And I wasn't really listening to that commentary. I wasn't really paying attention. I was just kind of in stunned silence, in my head. So I want to go back and watch it and be able to hear the commentary and absorb it a little bit more. But that is our show. We will be back next week with the results of AEW Revolution and the predictions to see who is the predictions champion. What am I? 3 defenses in? Yes. At this point. See if I can go for my unprecedented 4th defense.
I got to get that belt back. I got to get that championship back.
It's so funny how we went from we just tossed it back and forth for months. And then all of a sudden I'm like, no, I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it somehow.
Ever since you got that belt sent to you.
Yes. It's my good luck charm. Just like the whiteboard's yours. We'll see whose power defeats the other. Is it the power of the belt or the power of the whiteboard that comes out on top? We will see. If you want to check me out, I'm on BlueSky at TJ-Leo.
I'm at Cole2K on the X and the BlueSky.
And if you want to email us, you can do so at co.op.podcasts@gmail.com. This has been Wrestling Renaissance. We out.